Hello there, English speakers. Here you see, guess what? This is an alder, a black alder. In Swedish they are called al, two letters, A and L. And they usually grow close to a small river. A small river in Swedish is å. Å is the letter A with a ring on top, like in Stargate, for example. But let's start by taking an intro. Big, deep breath. Hello there, English speakers. Here you see, guess what? This is an alder, a black alder. In Swedish they are called al, two letters, A and L. And they usually grow close to a small. So we hope that that kind of intro worked. You would see it sometimes more, I guess. It's not decided on how many seconds it will play the intro. A little bit weird. But let's start by recommending Dr. Wojak. So he recommended me and I recommend him on Substack. I mostly read his notes that are about reminding us that modern medicine, it's mostly frauds, different kind of fraud. And he posted a good video on 1 minute that I should be able to do even faster. This is better than therapy. Therapy is mostly focused on your problems instead of solutions. So I've talked about this before, that if you focus too much on your past, you will get depressed. If you focus too much on the future, you will get anxiety. And your thoughts are what you will become, and your habits are your destiny. And if you are triggered, that's because something is not healed inside yourself. So all these people screaming at the sky, whatever, or they are just flipping out and screaming conspiracy theorist after you. Something is broken with them. But here is another good saying. And here's a tiny Christmas decoration, at least something. Stress kills the presence. Anxiety kills the calm. Doubt kills faith, and ego kills love. But that now I read that in the wrong order. Read it backwards. Love kills ego. Faith kills doubt. Calm kills anxiety. Presence kills stress. That feels much better, doesn't it? The Swedish church, yeah, they are joining the fight against the brutal invading Russians. Yeah, so they have now spotted how Russia finance their murderous invading military industrial complex. It turns out there are nuns from Minsk. If you know anything about geography, Minsk is situated not in Russia. Absolutely not in Russia, but they work for Russia. So these nuns, they are selling homemade crafts, and this is financing the brutal Russian military force, according to the Swedish church that is now joining the fight against nuns from Minsk. Makes total sense if you believe in the Swedish church, which I guess no one does. Clouds, they are actually really anti-Semitic. And if you are an old man that is yelling at clouds, and you are yelling anti-Semitism, the cloud actually don't care about that. So old men, if you want to yell at clouds, I suggest that you use blood libel. That's the new thing, to yell at clouds. And don't do anything, very slick. Facts and figures, those are of course blood libel. So this is from Stephen Somm. He is the New Jersey Commission of Holocaust Education. So this is a guy who really knows what he's talking about, and he knows that these Holocaust deniers, they are very slick. They use facts and figures behind their arguments. So that's horrible, and blood libel, as we have been taught. There's an account on X, the official 1984, and this account makes very provocative videos that are making fun of Jews. Sometimes not so funny, but provocative. They can't get any check mark, but they aren't banned because they have 255.8 thousand followers. So I just get deleted, but they don't dare to do this. But on the other hand, they harass this account by not giving it a check mark, just to make sure that everyone knows that there are plenty of good reasons to hate Jews. For example, that they constantly behave like this. A Jew that doesn't behave like that, so I will give him some credit, Brett Weinstein. But he's reporting from FDA. FDA have now circulated a document saying that the COVID vaccines were killing children, and the children had no problem from the so-called COVID disease, which means that, yeah, they were criminal. Unlike Brett Weinstein, that I really like. UN's Committee Against Torture, they are saying that Israel, they have a policy of torturing and mistreating their hostages. So if you are still supporting, like the most Israelis, if you are still supporting a policy, open policy for mistreating innocent hostages, then you're just evil. So there is a rabbi, he is saying that if Israel has no right to its land, that means that USA doesn't have, or Americans have no right to the American lands. He doesn't get it. If you are behind torturing innocent people to death, then you have no rights, period. To no land, no freedom, no life. You have no rights. You are pro-torturing innocent people to death. Bye. That's all. In USA, if you want to migrate there, you need to do an oath of alliance and say that you do not care about your former countries, you only care about USA if you want to become a citizen in USA. Should I say the obvious? Shouldn't all people who are owned by AIPAC in US Congress, they should all state this also, obviously. If they do not do that, or if they do state that, and they lie because they are Israel first, well, I think you can guess what they should be dealt with. There is now something called the Isaac Accords. So this is like the Abraham Accords, but for Latin America. And you don't have to guess who is behind that. That is, of course, Cabal, the president of Argentina. And he is basically telling Israel that they should occupy and infiltrate everything that is Latin America. Why are they always behaving like total lunacy tyrants? I watched George Galloway talk to Tucker Carlson for 40 minutes. He is in exile. Tucker Carlson is in England and not in exile, but George Galloway had to flee the country because they are not arresting him, just saying that he's not allowed to go away, and they really psychology or in a psychic plan they were torturing him basically, and he got heart problems after that experience. So not fun at all. George Galloway is a leftist, but he is very conservative when it comes to wokeness, pro-life, climate bullshit, and anti-war. He's still spreading a lot of gas libel, and that is not something that they talked about. Gas libel is when you lie about the National Socialists. And here you see another tree that is hard to recognize. It's an elm. They don't have a problem with sickness here in Ljusdal, but in south of Sweden they have the elm disease, which is sad for them. Max Blumenthal is stating what I said yesterday about Honduras, that Trump is releasing and giving a pardon to the former drug lord president of Honduras while promoting more of the same. So, and Trump is basically calling everyone who is not a drug lord there. So it makes little sense. But Venezuela regime change, people are saying that. I think that's a bad take. There is a military build-up there. It could be that they want to fight some drug lords and promote others, or that is what might be happening. But they are not prepared for a regime change in Venezuela. If they are preparing for that, they are doing it wrong. They closed the embassy in 1999. So, no, in 2019. 20 years later, so on Trump's first term. So without an embassy, you can't do any coup and, well, infiltrate the country and bribe people and promise them future support if they just take over the country. So the excuse or the rhetoric and the actions against Venezuela, they seem to be that the Trump administration, for some reason, want the build-up. And this build-up can be used for other things, like protecting some drug smugglers and destroying for others. Or maybe do something really good, if you can believe that. Jason Butler, let's have some fun with that person. I have no idea who it is, but he thinks it's strange that no one is talking about that all of the richest billionaires have their own media, from X to Larry Ellison and, you know, Washington Post from Bezos, etc. Absolutely no one thinks like him. Jason Butler. Oh well. Let's forget about him. Obviously, if you want to be rich, you need to have media. Otherwise, you will soon not be rich. I got some information from South Africa and how the white population there is really scared. And they are not so scared at the moment because Trump is in charge and will not let a genocide happen under his watch. But what happens when Trump is gone? So a lot of people are advising everyone to flee there. I will again remind everyone in South Africa, if you have spoken out against Israel, you are in trouble if you want to go to USA, because they have a Zionist-occupied government there. But you can come to Sweden, actually. If you know Afrikaans and English, you should have little problem learning Swedish. It's not that different. And you should quickly learn how to read a newspaper and similar stuff. And Swedes are pretty good at English also. And we have a lot of companies from JAS, the jet fighter. We have a lot of mining companies that are both in South Africa and in Sweden. And you can get an excuse to come here. Don't come here to farm unless you are a super genius in Swedish legal systems or you want to become one. But if you want to work for a big company, or my cousin is importing wine from South Africa, actually. I don't think he's only importing from South Africa, but still, there are a lot of Swedish connections there. And I haven't heard about any anti-Semite getting banned from Sweden yet. It's coming probably everywhere. We thought they were white. That is a book written by Dontel Jackson, and he is a black person, and he realized that all the evil stuff that they did, they were not white. They were another ethnicity. Interesting book. I haven't read it yet. We have a system generally in the Western world that empowers useless people. So that's not very good at all. What to do about that? And there is this problem that companies, they want to, or other organizations, they want to take in experts from other countries instead of educating the people in the country, or demanding that the government helps them to educate the own population. And also we need to educate leaders instead of what the school is doing, that is mostly educating people to be good slaves. So how do they look at us? And with they, I mean the most evil people on the planet, the oligarchs, the 50 richest ones, etc. So a war, for example, against Venezuela, a hypothetical war, it's not about the oil. If you think that, you are thinking like a human. They don't. That's why they have all the power. Or they don't have all the power, actually. And they will lose the power if we understand, or if the majority, or even a small minority, understand how they think and start to break their narrative. Then people will just say, no, we think that you are bad leaders and you are empowering stupid people to lead as your puppets. You are not helpful for humanity, and we think that we can do this better. Then they will just sit there in their palace, and they have no one to clean up their stuff, and their stuff will basically be stolen, of course, or taken back. But they do not steal stuff. So I'm just trying to read the minds of the ones, the oligarchs, the top oligarchs. So this might be totally wrong, but it's something we can test and see if it predicts anything. It predicts, for example, that they will get no oil from Venezuela, or any other thing that they have invaded. They might get a little bit of Iraqi oil, but not to pay for the war. So they don't think about stealing stuff. You can't steal from your slave. What your slave owns is yours. That's how they see it. So they are interested in keeping the narrative. And if you have the narrative, the brainwashing and your media, of course, then you own people. They don't care about the oil. They want to own the people that control the oil. So that's why Venezuela might be dangerous for them if Venezuela start to use sound money and stop spreading gas libel like Maduro is doing. So fight the narrative and don't forget about the oil, but that's not the main thing. I posted again a lot of links about chlorine dioxide. I will not talk about it today, but as I have many new followers, Andreas Kalker, for example, have done a lot of videos on that and a lot of science about it. And this is something that helps your body get oxygen out to your damaged areas, basically. But there's a difference between CDS and MMS. So they are different substances, not just different names. But listen to Andreas Kalkar about the details there. And here in Sweden we will get a new 100% media. So that's the name, 100%. And it should compete with the state media. And it has a chairman of the board that is secret. So this is suspicious. I will not trust that thing. And finally, if you don't know what a toucan is, it's a bird with a very strange and huge beak. But the important thing is that it really like screeches. And you can look at that if you want to be a little bit more happy. But see you again on a crazy Monday.